Okay, we finished Parak Hay and we need to start Parak Vav, Shaar Aleph. And I was going to say in advance that in Parak Vav he does a bit of a turnaround from Parak Hay. And together we need to understand this. But what we said, let me just review the main yesod of Parak Hay. And in Parak Hay he explained two things which are really one, and that is, I think somebody stuck the door. What we learned is that the definition of neshama refers to the neshama, or at least a definition of neshama refers to the neshama which is in the olam elyon. Meaning, neshama means that which powers that which is underneath it. That's called the neshama. So the world has a neshama in that sense. And this is just reviewing what we learned in Parak Hay, which was fabulous, that the world has a neshama, and since there's four elamos, there's Atzilus, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah, right, which is, look at it as an assembly line. You know? So you have an assembly line, so the world is being created and recreated every single second of the day. And it goes, starts in the world of Atzilus, just to understand it, where there's no Gashmias as we understand it, strictly a spiritual world. So when Hashem creates a creation, He creates us, He creates a table, whatever He creates, the world, gravity, whatever He creates starts in the world of Atzilus, where there is no Gashmias, but it's just something with Kedusha, and then it goes into the world of Bria, which is where everything starts to take shape, and then it goes into the world of Yetzirah, and then finally into the world that we know, the world of Asiyah. So what we see here and what we live with here and what we're doing here, and our Maisim here, are all having to do with the world of Asiyah, but what's really happening is that it's coming, the neshama of it is the world which is above us, and that world is above us. And the Chiddush, so that's one thing, that neshama refers to specifically that which powers that what's underneath it. And in that sense, he said
directly underneath it. Does it matter, or just
directly underneath it, and therefore, normally, and therefore, what we are, we're just like carriers, or the world. We're in the words of the Nevi'im, we're Merkava. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Merkava. We're just a Merkava. We're just the bottom line. Think of it as light. So light. I'm mixing my metaphors from an assembly line to light. But think about light. Light only happens where it reflects. So, but what's it reflecting? It's only light over here. What's it reflecting? It's reflecting something from a much higher world. The Chiddush here was that even though we're down here at the bottom of the chain, and we're in the world of Asiyah, but Yecheskel came up with a Nevuah, which was a Chiddush Nifla, and what he saw was, he explains this whole system of Shemayim, of how things work, but then he explains that Ume'al HaKisei Adam, that in one of the highest worlds that go on is the Kisei HaKavod. Kisei HaKavod, Yeshayahu spoke about it, Yecheskel HaNavi spoke about it, it's all over the Nevi'im. The Kisei HaKavod. So the Kisei HaKavod, we think, as I keep on explaining, means that's Hashem's throne. It's not Hashem's throne. The Kisei HaKavod is where everything starts, the transition point between Ruchnius and Gashmius. That's what happens at the Kisei HaKavod. From there, everything starts to become real and becomes part of this world. It says Yecheskel that Me'ala Kisei Adam. That so we think of ourselves as here, and therefore being controlled by the world of Yetzirah, and therefore that being controlled by the world of Bria. No, that's one way of looking at it. But the more important way of looking at it, he taught us, was that the Adam is actually not here at the bottom of the chain, but the Adam, particularly as history worked out with Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Hein Hein Na Merkava. So we switched our positioning all the way to the top of the chain, which is Me'al HaKisei. So not we're being controlled by Yetzirah, we are controlling Yetzirah. The simple example of this, to make it very simple, is that we say Ein Mazel Yisrael. So Mazel, Mazolos, there's such a thing as astrology. such a thing. I'm not sure anybody knows it or knows the Chachma. Certainly not. Emily Dixon in the New York Times. She knows the astrology, but there is such a thing of. You see Yitztagnidos. You see Avraham Avinu was looking at the Yitztagnidos. You see the Mitzrayim were looking. They looked at the Yitztagnidos. They looked at the astrology, and they saw Moshe Rabbeinu. Like there's such a thing. But we say Ein Basel Yisrael. What does that mean? Ein Basel Yisrael. That we can go above the stars. And the stars are controlling the world, but we control the stars. So how does that work? Because we're here in this world of Asiya. On top of us is the world of Yetzirah, which is where all the astrology. On top of that is a world of Malachim, and then on top of that is Adam. So you think you're here, but you're not here. You're there. I always mention, just for illustrative purpose, I always mention the Chazal, which says that when Yaakov Avinu had his dream, so he dreamt of the Sulam. And the Sulam refers exactly to this. In fact, Kabbalah's form are called the Sulam for this reason. The Sulam refers to the feet of the Sulam of the ladder is Ba'aretz, but the Rosh Magia Shamayim. And then what did he see in the dream? He said, Malach Elokim Oilim V'Yardim Bay. Start Oilim Daika. Oilim, first they go from bottom to top, V'Yardim, and then they go down. So Chazal say that when Yaakov Avinu was able to see on top of the Sulam, he had a glimpse of the Olam HaSoyonim. And he went up to the world, this is in the Zohar, he got up to the world of Bria. By the way, I'm not pretending I know those means, I presume I don't know what it means either, but they're good words. He got to the world of Bria. He saw something up there that's Eiladu Lahasi, exactly what he saw. And Chazal say, what did he see? He saw the Kisei HaKavod, which means, Chazal say, he saw Kisei HaKavod. So he saw the Kisei HaKavod. So what does that mean? Either means one thing we know about the Kisei HaKavod, that it's in the world of Bria. So he got past the world of Asiya. This was this ladder over here. So he got past the world of Asiya, into the world of Yetzirah, into the world of Bria, and for that matter, on the top of the world of Bria. Kisei HaKavod on the top of the world of Bria. And when he saw the Kisei HaKavod, he said, Ein Zakim Beis Elokim, because that's where the Shem Elokim starts. Elokim, Bereshis Bara Elokim, Bria. The word Bria. Atzilus, Bria. So Atzilus is not yet Hashem. Hashem is beyond all that. Leis Machshav Tzvisa Bey. Well, we can't even talk about it. Not a lot to talk about it. But he saw where the world of Bria begins. So what did Yaakov Avinu actually see? He saw where the world of Bria, where the Bria starts. Bereshis Bara Elokim. And therefore he said, that he woke up from his dream. He said, Ein Zeki Beis Elokim. I saw the beginning of Bereshis. That's what I saw. V'zeh Shaar HaShamayim. Look, the words are beautiful. V'zeh Shaar HaShamayim. If you're going down, we can understand the Bria that we're in because it starts here and it works down. What he saw was something different, that here's a window to the Shamayim. V'zeh Shaar HaShamayim. Because from when you're so up high in the stratosphere of the spiritual stratosphere of the world of Bria, that's Shaar Shamayim. Like Chazal say, Tzoyar Nasa Lateva, right? That he was able to look up. And then he said, V'anoichi lo yadati. And I had no idea. Rashi says, what's he adding this piece of Anoichi lo yadati? Ilu. If I would have known what a holy place was, because he comes to sleep on the place of Beis HaMikdash, if I would have known where I was sitting, where I was sleeping, I would have gone to sleep there. Ilu yadati lo yashati. Which is, so the Pashat of Pshat is that we learn, well, it's a Makom Kaddish, you don't go to sleep in shul. Kohen Gadol, Kohen Gadol's busy all the time, working with people, working with animals and karbanos and this that. And then he finally gets into the Kodesh HaKadoshim on Yom Kippur, and he's there. This is not a time to take a nap, right? You have the opportunity of a year for a moment. Isachtus v'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's like, well, I gotta get some quiet. That's wrong. Ilu yadati, but I understand who I am, where I am, what I'm doing. Lo yashati. So that's what Yaakov Avinu said. To see this whole ladder, seeing the world of Bria, anoich lo yadati. It comes to Zohar and it says that when he saw the Kisei HaKavod, he saw the same thing that Yecheskel saw. That Adam ala Kisei. Yecheskel saw this weird thing that, when I say weird, I mean it's weird for us to think about because we're here. The Yesh Adam ala Kisei, that what we think that we're here, but we're also there. We're in two places. So we're here and we're there. And that's how we learned this in Nefesh Hachaim. That's why Hashem said, Avram, Avram. There's the Avram that's here, and then there's the Avram which is Lamala. Avram, Avram. The Avram over here doesn't necessarily have a koyach to do the Akedah. The Avram there, I'm speaking to a higher place. Speaking to the neshama of Avram, which is in a higher place. We have a higher place. And you find this always by the Avos, right? Yaakov, Yaakov. Avram, Avram. Avram Lamata, Avram Lamala. So he said when he saw the Kisei, says the Zohar, he saw the Kisei HaKavod, he saw the Shem Avraham, his grandfather, Chakuk ala Kisei. It's like, okay, it's Adam, but which Adam is really in control of the whole Bria? My grandfather, Avraham. Wow. And then he goes closer because he feels comfortable, and he sees Shem Yitzchak, that his father is Chakuk ala Kisei. Then he goes further and he sees that he's Chakuk ala Kisei. His name himself, Yaakov, is engraved on the Kisei, meaning that he's part of the Avos. He's part of the Merkava. And he says that this is Beis Elokim v'zeh Shaar Shamayim. But v'anoichi, that I'm there, lo yadati. V'anoichi, that I'm here and I'm there, lo yadati. This I didn't know. I didn't know my own power. So what we're understanding here is that we think that we're here, we are here, but we're there also. And what is the significance? The significance is that we have some kind of a koach to change the whole Bria through what we do. So what we say changes the Bria. So this is the pshat in Ein Mazel Yisrael. One more thing that I just want to review, and that is that why are we there? How do we get up there? So the pshat is that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Adam, very simple. Hashem created Adam, created him B'Tselem Elokim. Elokim, gracious Bar Elokim, not B'Tselem Hashem. This was the purpose, and the ofen of creating Adam was B'Tselem Elokim, to create him in his tzura Lamala. B'Tselem Elokim. Vayipach ba'apav nishmas chayim, Hashem blew a neshama into the nostril of man, meaning that we didn't get our neshama from the world of Yetzirah, which is on top of us, so we didn't get our neshama from the world of Bria, we got our neshama from Hashem, so therefore we're up on top. So Ein Mazel Yisrael means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu's, the way he set up the whole world, we don't know. Why did he set it up with all these worlds, and why did he set it up with all these malachim? I don't know. Could have just done everything himself, but okay, that's the way he set up. There's different energies in the Bria, just like there's energies in Teva, there's energies by Malachim. There's Malachim, there's all these kind of things. But this was a direct thing. I'm going to create Adam min ha'el yoinim. That's what we learned. Umina tachtoinim. So we have this body, which is min ha'tachtoinim. We have this neshama, which is min ha'el yoinim, and it's a direct feed from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And I pointed out, or actually he pointed out, but I explained, that this means that we're the greatest living thing, and we're also the lowest great thing. On the one hand, our neshama is mamash b'shamayim, and we're controlling the whole world. We're not the same as rabbits and flies and mosquitoes. It's not the same thing. Not just like a more intelligent breed. Whole different thing. On the other hand, down here, we're not really a bria from the world of Yetzirah. We're really nothing. In fact, we're the Yitush Kadamach. We came after the flies and the mosquitoes and the worms. And why? So I gave a mashal. I think it's a good mashal, that you can have a computer with the power on your desktop, or you can be tied into the cloud and have no power on your desktop. Which is stronger? So the answer depends if it's connected to the cloud or not. If it's connected to the cloud, so then it's stronger than everything because you have an infinite amount of data and power right here at your, even though you're just dealing with a tiny little machshir. On the other hand, if you're in a place without Wi-Fi, you have a useless keli. Whereas person who has a computer that has koach unto itself, so it's not useless. So on the one hand, lions are stronger than us and deer run faster than us. That's for sure. But on the other hand, what we do have, we're a dumb terminal that's connected up to the Shemayim. So that's where we're there. So here, we're nothing. We're the least in the Bria in a way. We're weaker than, we can't even annoy people as much as mosquitoes annoy people. We need a gun to kill somebody. We can't do it with our teeth usually, like that. So it's and gam l'toiv, we don't have this kind of a koach. But on the other hand, if we're hooked up lamala, we have this koach. So that's what we learned until now, and it's an amazing place where this kind of like neshama is in two different places at the same time. And the pashtus is we want to activate the neshama lamala, understand who we are, where we are, and have control over the whole world. So yes, everything, there's a whole chain system, but we're on top of the chain, not on the bottom of the chain. That's what he said in Parak Hay, with my interpretation. In Parak Vav he says, Omnam hadayin ha'inyan tzarech be'ur. This was all a quote, most of it was based on a quote of Reb Chaim Vital. See, the last sentence in Parak Hay is Chen Kaser Rabbeinu Chaim Vital, B'Shaar Kedusha Chel Gimel Shar Beis, Shenishmas Adam Hipnimi Shibikulam. So there you have it. So he says, Amna Madayin in the we need to understand this. Ki Huzal Diber B'Kadshay Derek Sar, because Reb Chaim Vital spoke in a very shorthand language. Kedarka B'Chol Kisvei Kodesh B'Nistar. He says when he wrote about in Yonam of Kabbalah, he wrote very short. He was Megala. Mashkaza Ba'atzmai B'Akdamasa Sham, as he himself writes, Shu Megala Tefach HaMachas Al Payim. I'm Megala Tefach, but I'm covering up 2,000 amos. And he wants to say, Shaloi Kedemash L'Chayim Midvar Zal. And the amos is everything that I just said in the last 15 minutes. He says it's not so simple. As Reb Chaim Vital says, it's not that we're mamish controlling the whole world. So now, we have to calm down a little bit, like we thought. Okay, now we're mamish catching up. It's not like we control ourselves, right? You want to scratch your head, you scratch your head. It's immediate. You can do even in your sleep, your reflexes work. There's a certain immediacy to what's going on here within ourselves, from our neshama to our goof. It's all right here with us. It's not so immediate when it comes to going through the whole channel from the kisei hakavod to here. It's not like we're controlling. You can't say sha'adam el-alamis hu nefesh mamash kamoya nefesh hanitim v'dava b'toich guf adam. Asher eiz davar sha'nefesh oiso rak ha'yidei kli haguf. That the nefesh is controlling the goof, and the goof is controlling the nefesh. Sheboisa rega mamash, and you can see this in time that simultaneously gam haguf oisehu. If the neshama wants to do something, simultaneously, the goof, like a blink of an eye, right? The goof does it. The zev vadai lo yitachem. Can't be. Now, and let's do the Hagah for a minute, just to see what can't be. Like we need to understand what's his problem here. He just told us we're controlling the whole Bria, right? So we're controlling the Bria, we're controlling. If we would say it that way, as we've been saying it, it would come out. Let's say we say kedusha. Kadosh, 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 Hashem Tzvakos, Melech Haaretz. Memela, it would seem that we're starting a chain in Shemayim, and we say Kedusha, and now the Malachim, Kedusha, have to say Kedusha. Right? Itanu Ke'echad. Chazal Amru B'Paragid Adoshe, but the Gemara says in Chulin, Ein Malach Asher Yisrael Shir L'Malo, Asher Yisrael L'Mata. That the Malachim don't say Shira until we say Shira. Shenamar B'Ron Yachad Koichlei Biker. We all sing together. V'Hadar V'Yariu Knol Pnei Elokim, and once we all sing together, then the Malachim sing. V'Lishna, now if you're Medayik in the Lashon, V'Hadar V'Yariu, first we sing, then they sing, so it's not the same spontaneity as it is as we within ourselves. We're not controlling Malachim in the same way that we're controlling our hand motions. Tfei mashma what's yes mashma shehema lo yaschilu klal lahaktish liyotzram ad asher yigmar Yisrael shilush kedusha asam lamata. That they wait, and there's a chain reaction, and that now. Do you see any significance in this? Takes another second. What? Oh wait, what?
You know how long it takes.
A generation, 1,000 years, any other day.
It means when an assembly of 10 Yidden do it, or actually Israel?
Everything has its skula. So we say kedusha, they say kedusha. We can't say kedusha unless we have 10 people to say it. We could put on tefillin by ourselves, though. We can give tzedakah by ourselves. So we give tzedakah, so we're creating a chain reaction of tzedakah. But don't think it's not like it's immediate. It's a sort of a delayed. Like you turn on the switch, the lights go on. So it's immediate. I might have to go all the way to Dimona or something. I don't know what happens to switch the generator to we go all the way to Niagara Falls. But the fact of the matter is that there's an immediacy to it. So don't think that this immediacy exists.
Well, Kedusha is being said all over the world where there's mourning right now.
Yes, and therefore.
It's not like there's one Kehillah saying Kedusha. It's like constant.
Right, so therefore it would follow that the Malachim are always saying Kedusha. But he wants to say a Lomdusha Nakuda here, that it's not, we say Kedusha and therefore, in other words, if we want to move our hand, we moved our hand. If we say Kedusha, the Malachim say Kedusha. No. We say Kedusha, the Malachim wait, and then the Malachim say Kedusha.
So they have Bechira?
No, but they wait. The way the setup is, that they wait. My nafkamina. What I'm asking is, this is an important thing for him. My nafkamina.
Something just a few seconds also.
It could be a delayed reaction. So you go to the store and you get a remote for a TV, and it's the kind you got it cheaper because it takes 3 seconds to turn the TV on. Okay, so I'm still controlling. What's the my nafkamina? Why is he making a big deal about this? Let's just see the end of the paragraph.
That everything has ramifications. So then. Finding the Jews with all the ramifications of everything else involved has.
What do you say?
Actually, Israel government as solution, but it needs like since I do this, you do that, and the other side of the world does that, so it has ramifications, interrelated ramifications.
And therefore,
so it's a complexity. So it has to be.
Takes time.
Emes comes out correctly.
So the nafkamina is in time.
Maybe the point is not time. Maybe what the point of the Haggadah is that the kedusha that the Malachi Shaar say is dependent upon what we do.
Right.
In other words,
yes.
The shevach that they bring into the world, into the Olamos Elyonim, has to start with us.
But as opposed to what?
As opposed
On their own.
We're past on their own. The shaila is that we already decided in the last parak that what we do is what they do is dependent on us. But now let's take it a step further. What we're saying is that what they do is dependent on us, but it's not the same as your hand dependent on your mind. That's what he's saying.
They're not our hand.
They're not our hand. They're not our hand. The bria doesn't belong to us. The bria belongs to Hashem. But we do exercise some control here, or some influence, let's say. Let's put it that way. It's influence instead of control.
So it's like the ripple effect of a stone throwing in the water.
So there's a ripple effect, but so we take a ripple effect or the butterfly effect. Well, this could take 1,000 years, right? So he, for some reason, he puts it into time. That's what's bothering me here.
Why does it have to be time? Why can't it just be causality itself?
And therefore, what? Because my nafkamina.
So because maybe perhaps we might think like the Nachash wanted us to think, like you're Ke'elohim. If you are the causing factor, you might come to fall into that trap.
Yeah. It's very interesting what you're saying, because here's a good example of it. Like the Nachash said, if you eat from the tree, you're going to die. Cause and effect. Eats from the tree, doesn't die. But Goyra Misa Lo Elo. He introduced a concept here of death. Before that, there was no concept of death. Why should you die? Why would we die? But the concept of death was introduced. So he thought, I guess, mistakenly, that I'm going to die. Well, ate it, you die, like poison. No, that's not what it means. It means that in 930 years, Adam, you're going to die. It's taking a lot of time for you to die, right? Mr. Shalach will live even longer than you. You know, like it's not. But there is such a thing. You brought Misa into the world. So again, it's kind of a time delay, but I think it's deeper than a time delay. You see, and then let's just finish a paragraph. When we say "Chen sidra anshe knesses hagdolu b'birchas kedushas Hashem," Ata Kadosh, Shemona Esrei, we say Ata Kadosh, V'Shimcha Kadosh. Right? What do we say? First we say Kedusha, Kadosh, 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 and then we say Ata Kadosh, V'Shimcha Kadosh. U'Kedoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela. Now who are those Kedoshim? What does that mean? And there's all kinds of holy people saying Kedusha, like you're saying, right? And in Australia they're still davening Mark, or wherever they're doing. They're davening Mark tonight. So that's the Pashat of Pshat. But he says, okay, good Pirush of Siddur, that it doesn't mean that. That when we say Ata Kadosh, V'Shimcha Kadosh, we say Kedusha, or Kedoshim, and therefore the Malachim Lamala, Kedoshim means the Malachim Lamala, Kedoshim B'chol Yom Yahalelu Chasela. They're also saying Kedusha because of our Kedusha. But he's minimalizing that. So he says, L'chayr mashma, Shamalachim Makdishim Kedushasam Itanu, Yachad Kechada Mamish, like they're saying Kedusha when we're saying Kedusha. Hainu Mishum Shekdushasam Tkufa Mamish, take a Vachas Yamaver, Kechada Kar, Avali Kar Shal Davar, and then he goes on to say that it's not that way. We'll get into the words. That we say Kedusha, and then they say Kedusha. You see, I think I just want to say that he's saying that what you would think is the Pashat of Pshat in Reb Chaim Vital in Shaar Kedusha is not the Pshat. The fact that we're sitting al hakisei and we're influencing everything, it's not your hand, as somebody just said, not your hand. So why is this bothering him? Because here you get into, I believe this is a political, because his proof is the words of those Mefarshim that are Mefarish, the Nefesh Hachaim, proof is weak. Because what's the proof? Ata Kadosh, V'Shim Kadosh, U'Kedoshim B'chol Yom Yahalu Chasela. And then first the Kedoshim B'chol Yom Yahalu Chasela. So that's not a proof. How else are you supposed to say it? Ata Kadosh, let's say you wanted to say it with simultaneous. You have no other way to say it anyway. Ata Kadosh, V'Shim Kadosh, U'Kedoshim B'chol Yom Yahalu Chasela. How do you know it's B'zach or Zeh? Right? All the proofs that he brings is weak, and Reb Chaim Vital says not like that. It's an anti-Hasidic polemic. This is the politics of this. Because, look, you like Hava Amina, when you're reading the Reb Chaim Vital, then, if we all talk about why do the righteous suffer? We should have the koach, to stop a bullet in midair with some kind of a maisa. Quick say Shema. Quick put on tefillin. Quick have a machshava of Hashem. If we're in control, we're in control. So how could it be that we're not in control? Are we in control? No. In fact, we're not in control. In fact, Nabuch people get killed, and there's Yisoimim, and there's all kinds of terrible things that are going on that it's hard to say we were government, and all kinds of good things that are going on. It doesn't sound like we're government either. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has his way. So to talk about an immediacy of cause and effect is taking us to a place where we don't belong, a sort of an immature understanding of the concept. I believe this is what he's saying. We need to understand that we have influence, not control. The Adam al-Akisei has a tremendous influence in the world, but, and he's going to explain it with this, I'm just going to say this out loud, and we can look inside, that it's important to understand, we have an influence, but it's not like, okay, quick, go to a Rebbe. Why do I say it's an anti-Hasidic? Because what happens is, the way Tzimtzum can be understood, Kipshutai, is that the tzaddik is like mamash, like God, and he can control things. And this always bothered the Vilna Gaon and Reb Chaim Volozhin, because this is the haskol of Avodah Zarah from his point of view. I'm not saying Hasidim are Avodah Zarah. I'm just saying this was what was worried. He was worried about the, you wouldn't want to pay, you wouldn't want to play the Vilna Gaon chess. He's 10 steps, 50 steps ahead of you, right? So what he was worried about is that, okay, good, you're learning this esoteric academic idea that the kedusha of a person is so great that he's mamash yoshev al kisei hakavod. So now there's a danger in that type of understanding. If you're understanding kipshutai, tzimtzum kipshutai, there's a danger of davening to the tzaddik. So I mean, however many hundreds of years it's been, you see some branches do that. There's a danger here of giving too much power, if you will, to the. So he's saying, like, don't take Reb Chaim Vital so literally. You have influence, but you don't have control. You'll say Shira, you'll say Kedusha. Now this is a little bit disappointing for me because I thought that we had total control, but the world doesn't work that way. He explains that the fact of the matter is we would have like even more influence in the whole Bria, except for the fact that everything that we do that would have influence is more of Tov V'Ra. Like since we ate from that Eitz Hadas, everything's a combination of Tov V'Ra. So what's the influence? Even the greatest person in the world. When I say Tov V'Ra, it doesn't mean necessarily like I'm thinking bad, but let's put it in a different dimension. Is a combination of Chitzonius and Pnimius. So who can say that they're putting on their tefillin and it's kulei pnimius? Even the tzaddik, it's hard to. It's kulei pnimius. There's no habit. There's no anything. It's completely pnimius. If it would be, he explains, completely pnimius, then we would have a super influence on the bria. But since there's always a taint of shalol lishma. So now, what are we putting into the bria? We're putting into the bria. Yes, we're al kisei hakavod, but the only part that's actually working is the part that's 100% pure.
Klal Yisrael b'yachad has the most influence.
The more biyachad, the better, because the more baroivam hadras melech. That's the hadras melech. But I think that what he's trying to bring out is that look at it maturely, and it's not an immediate cause and effect, because then the world will look a lot different than it looks.
It's more like the acid rain. It's more like the acid rain. Where
Acid
it
rain.
goes up and we don't know where it's going to go.
Right. See, it's a pella that the time of the Beis Hamikdash. We were doing all the stuff, right? We're bringing karbanas in the Bais Rishon, and we're bringing karbanas in the Levi, and we're singing, and everything was probably right in Kalacha, and yet there was a Chorban Beis Hamikdash. So it's a sheila shenafal al atzmai. How could there possibly be a Chorban Beis Hamikdash when there's a Beis Hamikdash here? We're evaporating everything correct, and the answer is, okay, technical, because while we were doing everything right, there was also Gilei Arayis and Shvichas Damim and Avodah Zarah. Like, go figure that out. How could it be that we did Gilei Arayis, Shvichas Damim, and Avodah Zarah during the time when we're bringing karbanos to the Beis Hamikdash? The Shechita was Shaar. Talking about Bais Rishon, the Shechita was Shaar. So, okay, the answer is that a person is a person, and we have our own needs, and that's the way Hashem created us. He said, I think this is, we talked about it yesterday in the Shiur in Pirkei Avos, but I think this is part of it, that after the Mabul, Hashem looked, at the Adam, and he said that I'm not going to I'm not going to destroy the world anymore. I'm not going to do it. Ki yetzer leiv ha'adam vayomer Hashem al lipay. So personal, right? Vayomer Hashem al lipay. I'm not going to destroy the world anymore. Ki yetzer leiv ha'adam ra minu ura. It was a new kind of revelation. That I can't. If the world was destroyed, it's because the Adam for the world. In other words, I can't make the world completely totally in the mice of Adam. I can't put you in complete control. So the Mabul was a sort of a demotion for mankind.
Is that changing the technology?
Yeah. In other words, you're demoted. Like, I can't give you the kind of power that I wanted to give you l'chatchila when I created you in Gan Eden, because you totally abused the power. So I'm not gonna like close the whole company here. I'm not gonna do that. But you're not. Adam is an eruv of Tov v'Ra. Since the time of the Eitz Hadas, since we did that Avera, now I'm not getting into, as I said yesterday, like why didn't Hashem realize that l'chatchila? Like it's a different story. But what I'm saying is the oilam, since we ate from the Eitz Hadas Tov v'Ra, so we ingested this mixture of Tov v'Ra. Now everything we do is Tov v'Ra. So if everything that we do is Tov v'Ra, so I can't make you the ultimate executive of the Bria, because there's a little bit of you're not a company man completely. A little bit you're company man completely. Moshe Rabbeinu maybe. Even Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't seem to influence the fact that he didn't go into Eretz Yisrael. But he could have, because I think because Rashi says, "V'eschanun el Hashem," Her says, "Al toisif l'daber iti." If you speak to me one more tefillin, I'm stuck. But that's talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. After all of those tefillins, communion v'eschanun, one more tefillin that I'm going to have to listen to. Atzadik goyzer Kadosh Baruch Hu Makayim. But to say that there's this kind of immediacy of this is what we do and therefore what is, an effect, yes, an influence, yes, but it's all lefi how much we're lishma. So let me just review what we use. The mashal I gave, and I think it works better. Is what I always speak about is the rain cycle. So the rain cycle is the circle of influence. So, right, the water from the earth evaporates, it creates clouds, the clouds burst, and down comes rain. Where does this start? It's a circle. The circle doesn't start, the circle doesn't end. That's the Bria. It starts when Hashem drew the circle. Now, but we do have influence here. We do have influence because we can go in, we can walk in, we can interfere with the rain cycle, and this is what all the scientists love to talk about these days, where we create acid rain and we create global warming. We're creating all kinds of things with our pollution. What we're doing is that we're by us affecting the world. That's a good example. By us affecting the world the way it is now, different junk is being evaporated. So what goes up comes down. So if we evaporate pollution into the air, meaning this kind of abuse of the world, so down's going to come acid rain. I'm not discussing acid rain. I'm just giving a mushal. But what happens is that you have a mushal of the influence of Adam. Say that we can do a rain dance and make it rain, or if it's raining too much, we can stop making it rain. We find in history that Choynei Amagel, right, made it rain, but then he couldn't make it stop raining. Even he was limited, and the Chachamim all yelled at him for that. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to do it. It was what then? What the Torah says, langsam, lat, that do the mitzvahs, v'hayim shemay tishmo mitzvahs ayasher anoish mitzvahs chamayoyim. And then, you can make it rain, but not by doing a dance. Right? You can make it rain, but this is a process. And he wants to make sure that we're learning it as a process and not as a cause and effect. So it comes out in conclusion. We can learn the words inside. So it's a little bit of a letdown here, but it's the reality of life, understanding the reality of how things work, that the neshama really has an influence in two places. The neshama has an influence on our own decisions, and we have an influence on the neshama. So there's the neshama that kind of like reaches the bottom over here, and that's where we are. And that influences us, and we're in control of us and us only. We ourselves are in control of ourselves. We have bechira chafshus. We can decide what we want to do, how we want to do it. If we want to do good things or do bad things. That's something we can decide. And we need to take responsibility for that. Do we need to take responsibility as to whether people got shot in Bangladesh or not, terrorized in Bangladesh? The answer is yes. Of course we need to take responsibility for it, because if everybody in the world would be evaporating only good stuff lishma, this wouldn't happen. Do I have to wake up crying, "Oh yeah, I killed people in Bangladesh"? No. So there's a difference here in terms of cause and effect. Yeah, it's true that we influence the entire Bria. That's the way Yecheskel taught us, and that's the way Yeshayahu said. But it's not a cause and effect. It's a causation. It's a influence. And what we're needing to do here is create enough influence to bring peace into the world, to bring Geula into the world, to bring, by the way, it's he says it's not immediate, but it's not immediate, but it's important. Meaning, it's clear to me that that a negative person will bring down an energy of negativity in their life. And a negative world will bring down, and this is the reason not to get too obsessed with the news. If you get like and positivity, simcha, positive things brings down positive. Now, is it immediate? Are we happy we do a rikud and there's tchias amesim, whoever died just jumps up and hallelujah? That's not what we're talking about. But generally speaking, like begadol, maturely speaking, we can have influence. But the influence is an avodah, and it's avodah of a whole life to have this type of influence and to bring up the influence of a person, so that in our own lives, in our families, in our country, and like we could bring down a positive rain. But it's not immediate. Even the water that evaporates is not immediate. It takes some time for the water to get to there to here. So immediacy, I don't think, has to do with zman. Is this what you said, Shmuel? It doesn't have to do with zman. Zman is just a mushal. It could be a second, it could be a year, it could be 1,000 years. But it has to do with it's grama instead of garmi. That's what it has to do with. It's a causative. It's causative, but it's very, very big, and it's very, very important. And the world is what we make it, but not on a horizontal level. This way, the world is what we make
But
it.
eventually everything's going to have an effect.
Right.
It's like
6,000 years it takes to get a
you
gula.
push the button on the elevator, eventually it's going to come. It doesn't come immediately necessarily.
The effect
In
is
some
immediate,
places.
the result the effect is immediate, but the results only.
Okay. That's pretty eerie.
Is that why the tzaddik who is lishma can give someone a bracha on his chal right away?
The more lishma, okay, no, what I'm saying, sometimes yes, sometimes not. But the more lishma, the more real, and the more pure. I don't even know that Yitzchak gave a bracha to Yaakov if it was chal right away. It'd take thousands of years for it to work out. But we believe it's right. I don't know if Yaakov gave a bracha to his children, it was chal right away. There's a process. Even Avram Avinu, like he was Mashiach, but he wasn't Mashiach, right? It wasn't chal right away. There's a process. So our job becomes on a more adult, mature level to make sure this process. What did you say? You said it well. What was it? We have an effect, but not a result. Results there, right? Okay.